Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast, My Hero Academia edition. Today we are talking about the finale, the final episodes of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. The final episode just came out this past Monday. We are recording on the Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. The final episode came out Monday on June 30th to end this season. So we have the My Hero enthusiast with us, Miss Andrea Alanis. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I am doing wonderful. You know why, Martin?
Why?
Because between the end of Vigilantes and today's recording, we got some big news about season two being confirmed. So that is why I'm doing amazing today, because I am so excited that we're going to have more content for sure. And we didn't have to wait long to find out.
Yeah, they already announced even before the final episode came out
Was it?
that
Okay.
that season because the final episode came out on the
The 30th.
30th and then I sent that to you on literally the in the morning. So the 30th of the morning. So
Ah, okay.
10:37 Eastern time. So I guess a little bit before the episode came out.
Nice. Nice.
But yes, so season two will be there. The way it ended season one, obviously, it does look like the manga wasn't done. They just finished like the first part of it from what we'll
Yeah.
talk about going forward. But that is really exciting in that end. As I said, we're recording in July, so that means we are August, September, 2 months away from the finale of My Hero Academia, and My Hero is going all in on content, like you said. Season two is 2026. Final season is this
This
October.
year. Yep.
Literally today, they announced a new video game. So
Mm-hmm.
they're pushing all chips to the table financially in the My Hero IP.
As they should. As they should, because we will all spend the money.
That's
And
true.
the graphics on that game look amazing. I'm not a gamer, but it looked really, really cool.
Now, the thing, because it literally just got announced today, the thing with the creators, and they're working with the author of My Hero, but they did say that since it's a video game
Hmm.
and is trying to time it, their ending of the series in their game will be different than the ending in the real show slash manga. So they're gonna have their own,
Excuse me. Okay.
which I mean
Okay.
that could be sad or happy depending on who you are, because that means if the manga for the manga readers they know how it ended, but for just the show watchers, if the show ending ended very sad, they might not be making it not as sad. Or if the show ends happy, they might be making it less happy. So you don't know until that game and the story mode and the cutscenes and we analyze the differences later on in maybe 2026. So
Probably by that time. Yeah, for sure.
probably doing that. But
Goodness.
Andrea,
Yes.
Vigilantes has come to an end. There's been a lot of different big plot points, but I'm just going to start off with the general. Now that it's come to an end, what are your thoughts on Vigilantes?
I really liked it. So I had expected to. I was expecting a couple different things from Vigilantes that I actually didn't get, but I don't mind because again, now we have that continuation. So maybe we're going to get into it in like the second half. I would have been very surprised if it would have been just like the 13 episodes and done. It didn't feel like that was enough for
Mhm.
me. But anyway, overall, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I really liked I mean, the definitions of the different like keywords throughout in the openings before the episode would go was a really cool touch. The
Mhm.
animation style being different, being more like traditional comic books with the I forget what it's called, the literary term, but like bam, swish, like all that stuff being drawn into the panels is awesome. I also liked the story and the main character. I was kind of worried I wouldn't care for him too much. Um, and I don't know, I feel like Vigilantes did a really good job of making it quote unquote everyday hero, a day in the life, especially within some of these later episodes, they mixed in so many, I feel like, themes from general like slice of life anime, like in the episode where his mom just like pops by and it's the whole like, oh no, I have to make sure my mom lets me stay and I impress her and I'm gonna have a fake girlfriend type little thing happen. And they did it in a, as I saw the lead up to that episode in particular, I was thinking like, oh gosh, here we go. And it didn't play out the typical way. So I don't know. I just feel like there was a lot of different ways that Vigilantes was like a breath of fresh air. And yeah, I just overall I really, really enjoyed it. I don't love it as much as My Hero, the OG, but I would highly recommend people watch Vigilantes.
Yeah, and you were just talking about, yeah, that mom episode was literally the episode after our last
Mm-hmm.
recording where we had the Stain basically debut realization. I mean, that episode was very interesting just for the fact that like Aden seeing Ida's brother and
Yep.
the crawler teaming up, the crawler unlocking a new ability.
Or his OG ability as his mom low key drops on us is like, yeah, no, he was always gonna fly away from me. And we're like, wait, 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 he could fly? Like, hold on. And that's what he does to save the day at the end of the episode. And then we're all just like, oh my gosh, she's gonna keep doing this, just like how, Deku unlocking all his like different quirks. We see it the one time, all right, now he's trying to master it immediately. Same thing with Koichi, he's trying to master it, and it's just not vibing, it's not working. Which I'm hoping we'll get to see more progression in season 2 for that, because it I would be really sad if his mom's fear, because it seems like that's what it was, is that she like
Hmm.
really repressed um his confidence to be able to continue to quote unquote fly. I know that can be a little cliche sounding, but I mean, she's the one that kind of mentions like I was always afraid, and she's very kind of like Deku's mom, also just kind of like scared of where that could take him. And that he could get hurt. And so, of course, it's that same level. It's coming from a protective place, but at the same time, that still has a negative impact on him, because now we know he's not using his quirk to its full potential, like he was doing so naturally before he could even think. So, yeah, it's one of those things. But I, all I can say is I was very, very surprised. It's one of those things where I didn't get exactly what I was thinking
Hmm.
it was going to give me, but in a great way, in a way that I'm kind of glad that I wasn't 100% on the mark on what we could expect from the first season.
Yeah, I think especially with that episode too, his official secret identity gets blown to Makoto because his thing falls off while he's saving her and things of
Mm-hmm.
that nature. And I think it was great with Knuckle Duster's civilian identity, his
Yep.
little nonprofit organization doing volunteer
Volunteer
work.
work.
Um, the crawler's mom talked about the disdain for heroes and her disappointment of Koichi failing that entrance exam. And obviously, Pop is there, and Pop's the reason that he didn't make it.
Make
And she
it.
was about
Mm-hmm.
to stand up, but she hasn't built that confidence yet. And she
Mm-hmm.
built some confidence in the later episodes.
Episodes. Speaking of which, did you catch in the later episodes one of the songs she's singing is literally about him?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I figured you would, but I just had to make sure. I was like,
Yeah. Which obviously he does
has
not
no idea.
know, has no idea, no
Uh-uh.
idea at all. So
And
that is
it just makes it that
interesting.
much better, because like that's such a young teenage girl thing to do, is to like be playing it in such a way that you would think it would be obvious, but
But yeah. And even with just one last thing on this episode, because it was like, but it had cool stuff. Even with the mom coming to see him, I mean, just on a real life little perspective of I think everyone gets nervous your freshman year of college, the first time, like outside of when your parents move you in, like
Mm-hmm.
that first time they're like coming to visit or coming to pick you up, and you're like, oh, I'm so messy here. Or for some people, oh, like I have all these alcohol bottles I haven't cleaned up, or like, oh, this or that, or
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's some stuff here I would not want my
On my
parents to
mom.
see. I
Mm-hmm.
need to. So like
Yeah.
that little thing of his mom coming, and he is basically a college freshman. So it's
Yeah.
like I get it. He's just like, dang, my mom's coming. I really don't want her coming in here thinking I'm a failure, especially my first semester of college. So,
Right.
and he still like he still lives like a normal like he has that little job at the
Yep.
basically the
Like
corner
convention.
store,
Yep.
and he still goes to school. Like he's still doing like
The day-to-day stuff. Like he is. It's just, you know, when the night falls, when he's off, quote unquote, that's when he puts on the mask and the
well,
all night hoodie.
he needs a better mask.
He does. Oh my God.
That
He
thing's been terrible.
that was so bad. Like what, sir? When you were just, what was it? Mr. Good Guy or whatever it was.
Hmm.
Yeah, cool. That you're picking up trash. No big deal. You're actively fighting and saving people. Yeah, you're gonna need a little bit better than a just a little over the nose. Sorry.
So then episode 10, 11, and 12, really the crux of the season. You get the big, obviously you see Knuckle Duster visiting his
Mm-hmm.
wife who's in a
Hospital.
Canatoke state. Like she's very, very, very bad shape, and we're going to be jumping around between these three episodes because they all connect to each other, especially the Knuckle Duster story. You find out the main bad guy of season one, like her body, its body, which is she, is his
Mm-hmm.
daughter, and
Yeah.
everyone's just like,
What?
all right, this has just added a whole
New
new
layer. Yes.
dynamic, and we're like, because if when we find that out, and like when he first calls her daughter, we're like, oh my God. Or like seeing the picture, we're like, wait, that looks like the B girl. And then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're going, oh. So what were your first initial thoughts of now I know you talked about main characters, but now you're seeing more layers of Knuckle Duster that his wife's in a basically catatonic state.
Yes, she's in a coma.
His
Mm-hmm.
daughter's the main bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, my initial impression was like, how in the heck did this I was like, did the daughter freak out on mom? Like
Hmm.
mom like she gave her mom some of the trigger and that's what put him onto the whole like trigger hunt, blah blah blah, blah trying to find her. That's why he recognized the bees, all that good stuff. But then I'm pretty sure it's the next episode, and I do apologize for getting ahead of you, but
Hmm.
it's like very quickly we find out it's like, yes, that is his daughter. But when he's confronting her, he's like, yeah, get out of my daughter's body. And then we're like, at least I was like, ooh, no way. So, like, his daughter is not the B user. The B user is using his
Using his
daughter.
daughter. Yes.
And it's like, oh, I did not expect that one. I truly did not expect that one. But yeah, all of Knuckle Duster's backstory, I felt, again, I'm still getting a little bit ahead, but I felt a twinge of like Endeavor recall, not nearly to the same extent when we were getting the flashbacks of interactions between Knuckle Duster and his daughter. I was just like, oh no, just kind of that super authoritative parent not really listening. And he now reflecting back on it and realizing, that was a mistake, that he should have, whatever, and all that good stuff. And it was really nice to see. But it just, I don't know, it tugged on my heartstrings more, I guess, especially coming from me, who's not an Endeavor sympathizer and is not like, yeah, yeah, Endeavor's the best now. No, because I'm very much in the camp of what he's done is unforgivable, and I will not forgive him for that. I don't care if his children don't decide to, I will never. So it this example with Knuckle Duster calls to me the sense that maybe maybe if the story was being told from a perspective where Endeavor's point of view was more to the forefront and framed slightly differently, I wondered if my feelings about him would have changed. But again, that's veering way off topic.
I mean, they showed a little bit of like their arguments in the past
Mm-hmm.
of like, and I mean, of what she wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
like with her future. He was
Trying to protect
disagreeing,
her. Mm-hmm.
yeah, disagreeing on what he would want her to do for her future. Obviously, she storms out angry, and then that anger, Queen Bee finds it. Rest is rest is history
Yeah.
in that sense. And I mean, they're so different than what goes on in the
No.
real, especially that I'm assuming that teenage age there is like, hey, I want to be, especially nowadays, hey, I want to be such and such. Parent
Yeah.
says, why? No,
No.
you don't.
Yeah. No,
That
you
makes
don't.
no money. You have no future in that. You're just
Mm-hmm.
going to be living here the rest of your life, blah, 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 if you do that. But it's like, well, something I want to do. Well, you're not going to make it's the same
Song and dance.
thing.
Yeah.
And then obviously with that, I mean, we don't have and well, sometimes these situations produce bad people, but we don't have anyone with superpowers who get produced from
True.
this. And then like the mom in a basically in a coma. So I think that was crazy because then it's like, all right, pulls all the things together with those two, and then just the conversation saying how he was going to bring her back
Mm-hmm.
to
To
her
see.
mom.
Yep. To see mom. Yep. Yep. Yep.
And then like those final episodes, the fight they had was
It
intense.
it was intense. Oh my goodness. The B user is using stuff that we hadn't really seen before.
Hmm.
He pulls out new knuckles that are tasers.
Yep.
Like it was like, oh shoot, okay, that's where we're at. And at first, again, we don't really know. So I'm thinking like, oh, he's using a taser because he wants to like, disarm, his daughter. He doesn't want to like hurt her too bad. And then we find out it's not really his daughter and all that good stuff. And he puts her on the brink.
Hmm.
And then we get to see a flashback to a different character we haven't seen in a very long time because I believe he's dead. Was his name Jiren? The he sold like weapons and stuff to the league. He's the one that found Dobby and
Yeah.
Toga, brought them to the league, to
Hmm.
Tomura. That guy. He smoked a
Yep.
lot. So Knuckle Duster was working with him to get these items, and then we find out after he's basically laid his daughter's body out to the point where she's dead. That's what finally vacates the bees from her body, is the fact that she's no longer a good host.
Yep.
She's dead. And so he's like, yes, I want a taser in these knuckles, but also could you also get me ones with an AED?
Hmm.
So his entire plan hinged on his ability to be able to resuscitate her, which that was really hard to watch. I don't think we really get to see in at least I haven't in animated shows how intense CPR actually is physically for the person doing CPR and then the person receiving CPR. Because I feel like if people don't know this, they don't actually cognitively like feel it in the sense of generally speaking, most people's ribs get broken during CPR.
Hmm.
It is, and so seeing kind of her body bouncing in response to his compressions, I thought that was pretty powerful. It was a little hard for me to watch, honestly. Thinking of that dynamic, that's her dad. He's also a really big guy, and he's desperate to bring her back.
Hmm.
So that was really, really well done.
Yeah, it was crazy how like we are having the most emotional parts of the whole first season going on in these
In
three
the
episodes.
background of the like
Yeah, and then they're having fun, having
concert,
the concert.
woo, like,
Obviously, like their stuff caused the blackout. Like when
mm-hmm.
Eraser was fighting the one Omega Pop fan monster,
Yes,
and
Mr.
then
Eel.
yeah, Mr. Eel wanted to see Pop, so he gets a shock boost, and causes a blackout, and then they figure out a way to
Still
still
have the
Pop gets
show.
her confidence and all that, and that was funny too. And then you see President Mike there, you're like, oh, there's President Mike, and then of course Midnight
Midnight
shows
was
up, so you're just
there
like, dang, that's crazy. And then they perform, Pop performs. I'm like, I guess it's really not my
after
hero
having
without
a
a performance.
after having a total massive overshare moment, which I really appreciated because, like, oh man, relatable.
I also laughed at the two people who initially thought they were gonna hate each other, and then they looked at each other like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so
Oh my god,
smitten
yes.
by."
Like, oh my goodness.
Just like,
Like,
oh boy. But no, they had a good time while Racer was doing that, and then I was just like, I was surprised Eraser was in this series as much as he was.
right.
Like he was in like the beginning parts when he fought Knuckle Duster for a bit. He was casually in some of the middle parts, and then he was at this end part. He was at the last meeting with the young cop, talking about
Ryuchi.
like, man, we could tell now this trigger stuff is
This is different. This
it's
one's
different.
different.
And like it's
And
an organization leading this. Like
mm-hmm.
someone's pulling the strings.
He's like, yeah, I mean, depending on who it is, like, yeah, these could be quote unquote expensive, but at the end of the day, they're being disposed of as pawns. And he's the one that put that together. And Tsukauchi's like, oh my gosh, like you're totally right. And yeah, because I mean,
You saw that
on the
snake cop?
mm-hmm,
There's been a
mm-hmm,
snake there the whole time.
the whole time. And then he just, slithered. So I feel like he's more of a chameleon than a snake because he, pops up with that police uniform, walks
Hmm.
away. The next time we see him, he's got like a quote unquote like staff uniform at Captain Celebrity's
Yep.
shoot thing. So he just somehow either it's not actually visible and we're just seeing it as the audience. He's gotten used to blending in even with a giant glowing scar across his face. Like again, maybe that's just what we see because they're making it obvious for us. But I mean, if it's not just for us, it's pretty difficult to have such a like glaring identifying mark on your face
Hmm.
and not have people be like, I've never seen you before, you know?
Right.
So he's definitely, if that's the case, he's honed his like adaptability and I will go as far as to say is like invisibility abilities to be able to like blend into a crowd, especially again among the like police force, because maybe he's not actually been a police officer. He just kind of jacked the clothes, walked up on scene and blended in enough that people didn't care to ask or didn't even notice. So who
I
knows?
mean,
We'll find out more
it was
next time.
that's when episode 12 happened when Eraser beat the eel and he saw the bee like extracting the stuff and then that guy took it like he was fast and took it. That's when I initially thought I was like, oh, this isn't over because
Mm-hmm.
obviously Knuckle Duster beat his daughter, but then that someone just took that stuff, so that means it's all been part of the thing. Like
Bigger
now
plot, always.
he's probably gonna be the next big bad in Vigilante Sue because it's gonna be like, wait, how's the bee been taken out? But now the stuff's getting worse. That means someone else has been like they've deducted. And I was gonna say she had a phone call. You already know who was on that phone.
We already
You knew who was on
knew.
the
We
phone.
knew that voice.
Yep.
Absolutely. We knew that
Yep.
voice.
So he's lurking. So this is all like before people find out he's still alive. Like he is still
Pulling the strings. He's running that show.
pulling the strings and all of that. How'd you feel about the final episode, that conversation with Captain Celebrity and Koichi about like, hey, y'all sometimes y'all really don't have powers like that. Like you don't have like these super cool abilities, and sometimes you guys have been fighting people a
You
lot
got no
stronger
business
than
trying
you
to
could
fight, right?
chew, and I've been having to save y'all because he's been around and Knuckle Duster's gone and
Mm-hmm. Even though they
Koichi.
don't really realize that he's gone. That was
Yeah,
really
like
sad.
he's very like Koichi, very nice young man, but very dumb, very just. I
He's
was like, bro,
very he's a little bit airheaded, but I also feel like he's a bit lackadaisical. I
mhm.
cannot with words today. but yeah, so at when he first started off, I was like, "Hey, you take that back. That was mean." And then he prefaced it saying like more recently, because I
Hmm.
mean, obviously we've seen Koichi go up against monsters that he can't really handle, but the
Yes.
team overall was generally able to
Yes, the
work it
team.
out.
Hmm.
But then, yes, he hints that it's the more recent stuff, and that's when they kind of let us know, like, yeah, hey, Knuckle hasn't been around, and it's like, oh shoot, so like, yeah, no, maybe this could be, yeah, very overly dangerous for you. Um, and I don't know, because this kind of harkens back to the idea of you can't have one single person doing everything. Um, Going back to that uh podcast I did about like is All Might being the symbol of peace, a good thing or a bad thing. He can't. I don't think Koichi should be overextending himself to to the extent that he was. Um, I do think Pop is realistic in the sense of like, yeah, why don't you become a freelance um, sidekick? And I think that'd be something he'd do really well in. He was already doing it for a Knuckle Duster. Like, and again, he wanted, and he still low key wants to be a hero. So I kind of saw that proposition and conversation a little bit as a reality check, but also as a win-win. Like it's acknowledging his willingness to put himself out there and do things to help people, but also like, yeah, you don't quite got it like that. So maybe you should be doing it in more of a support role. So
And he
I
brought
thought
it.
it was a pretty good conversation overall, except part of it being Captain Celebrity, whining about
Yeah,
how busy he
being
is.
busy is. But Koichi brought up the good points about like, isn't that the point? Like, just
True.
normal people helping each other out in like basically the small town. Because now you really think about like from the whole grand scheme of things of the My Hero world, like this little town, like how many other little towns are in their little thing in Japan that aren't getting the pro hero
Mm-hmm.
help they
Treatment.
deserve, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
have a vigilante group or whatever, and they're just getting decimated. Hence, I mean, in all honesty, if there was a vigilante group, I mean, would Shigaraki be a thing? Like if they had like, because he talked about like heroes never coming to him. Even I forget which movie. I think it was the third movie. Yeah, it was World Hero Missions with that guy with
Mm-hmm.
the parrot, and he was talking
Yeah.
about there was no heroes in their thing. If there was a small vigilante group in that neighborhood, would he have suffered what he like
Well,
suffered?
and to that point in particular, it brings to my mind more so like I don't think it has to be a hero, quote unquote. I'm guessing there could be more nonprofits involved. There could be more, you know, everyday quote unquote heroes that do not have a hero job title, that don't use their quirks as part of their job to do things like that. Because I mean, for Rhodey and Shigaraki, it was kind of a lack of social supports, a safety net.
But in
They
this
they
world, all
fell
the
through the
social support
cracks.
are heroes, though.
But
Like the
but we okay, for Rhodey I can't speak because that's a different country. But in Japan, I mean, Knuckle Duster literally said he was a social worker. So there are more social supports than just heroes. Hell, even the police are more social supports outside of heroes. So like,
yeah, he said he was a social worker. We don't really know. And Bruce Wayne says he sleeps with women every night when he's actually out there jumping off rooftops. So I was like,
that's
who's
true.
really telling the truth?
True. But to make it plausible, that means that social workers have to exist.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, I would kind of part of me would try to make the argument that maybe still there's the over reliance on, the hero saving the day when a lot of in the real world, what we need is the everyday heroes pulling their weight. And yes, extending a hand when they don't need to, but it shouldn't solely rely on like a single entity, a single person, like a single organization or um group. Generally, you have overlapping and interconnecting services to try to prevent that fall through. Is it successful? Unfortunately, not always. Um, but everybody does the best that they can. And that's to the same point that Koichi's basically saying is like, yeah, that is the point. I'm just doing the best that I can. And that's okay. That's wonderful. But at the same time, it's, also recognizing that he could get himself into a situation where maybe Captain Celebrity or another hero can't save him in time.
Hmm.
And he's putting himself out there in that way. And Koichi seems to be okay with that. And that's totally fine. It's just, where's that line between basically like, is he really okay with that level of danger knowing that he couldn't protect himself? Because I think that's part of the difference with uh, Midoriya now, after getting One for All, is he can put up a fight um, relatively well, even as he was like first starting out. But technically, yeah, the first time we see him jump in to save somebody, he has zero power and zero plan. He just wanted to help. So I don't know. It's one of those things about I'm forgetting the exact quote, but people talk about, there's a fine line between being brave and being stupid. So,
Well, I think just a question now with vigilantes, a little bit on that point. It's like, does vigilantes kind of debunk everything about My Hero Academia, like the season? Because My Hero went in for it basically was telling you if you don't have a quirk, you're worthless.
right.
And but then you're seeing like Knuckle Duster, he basically just saved the whole town from a whole the trick
Yep.
like the initial trigger
Wave. Yep.
invasion wave with no quirk and all of that and like with determination and
Hard work
training
and
and like
mm-hmm.
getting stuff. So it's making me think like, okay, if he was able to do this while the pro heroes just really had no idea what was really going on and he's been following this
on
time, it's
on the
like
ground. Yeah.
so it's like why and I'm just like, so then obviously the story is what it is, what it was, but it's like now I'm thinking would have been more enticing if Midoriya would become who he becomes without getting a quirk. Like if he would have been like, oh, I know I don't have a quirk, but I'm still gonna train because I aspire to be like All Might. And there's other
Mm-hmm.
animes who have done this, like Black Clover, like the main character also doesn't have magic, but he still aspires to be like the Wizard King.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Rock Leaf, like
I was
beloved
about to say
character,
that. Yep.
Rock Leaf from Naruto doesn't ninjutsu, genjutsu, but he's probably one of the top three beloved characters of the whole series because of his hard work.
Yep.
Guy as well. So it's just like I'm sitting here, I was like, if this is showing me, if Vigilantes is talking about, like you said, just normal people trying to help, trying to do what they can, but then the My Hero
Main
world's
verse.
basically just like, oh, if you don't have a quirk, you're basically useless. You can't do anything, and then it goes back to that one episode where Makoto was talking about the past and the rules and all of that. And I think the rules just hampered normal people trying to do good things.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. Because even then, what was that percentage? Was it 80?
Hmm.
80% of the vigilantes were be gone. You're not sanctioned. Some of them thrown in prison. Like I I am curious if we'll find during season 2 like the exact line when it becomes like, okay, you're a vigilante, what you're doing is illegal and arresting you. Because we kind of saw Aizawa flirt with that idea briefly.
Well, in his I don't even, I think he said no chance against Knuckle Duster. I was like, bro, this keeps going, you're going to get killed. And I think he was starting to realize that too. Like, he has no quirk and I'm having this much. Yeah, this isn't for me.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Aizawa isn't one to duck a fade. So,
Well, just see him
also,
and just seeing that, I'm like, oh, well, that would have been great. Knuckle Dust. See, now to reconnect all the things because obviously we're about to hit the final. I think they're all dead. Like that's mine personally because none of them are
right
in
at
My
this point,
Hero.
right. I'm kind of unfortunately on that train with you. I don't want it to be true, but that's kind of where my brain goes because it's like how, I mean, Knuckle Duster, we obviously see him hang up the Knuckles. Like he's not coming back. We know
So
he's
yeah,
not coming back.
Koichi, like, bro, you're in college. You realize when, and you read, and they have mangas and all that stuff in My Hero. When a hero puts their mask on the thing, that means they're not coming back. Like they're
Right.
done. Like, but I
And
was
he's
going
very much
to.
like talking in the past, like narrating in the past tense, and like, yeah, he had such a big impact on me, but yeah, we were only together like 3 months. So it's like, how much more time is there between that moment that he leaves, or that you remember him being there, to now that you're narrating this? How much time has passed?
So I was ready to reconnect this and how much because of his training acumen and what he's been able to do. And shout out to Byron because Byron actually picked him on our draft episode. Check that out. But he would have been the perfect physical development martial arts teacher at My Hero
Absolutely.
at UA.
Yep. Yep.
Like if Momo, see, this is the thing. Now I'm thinking of like all these. If each Class A person would have met him instead of so and so, like if Momo would have met him with that quirk of hers, oh, she would have been beating people down. Like,
She would have no issue. I mean, it just goes back to my argument that I brought. I At this point, I don't know how many years ago I said it, but we keep going back to that in the sense of like, why is there not basic hand-to-hand combat training
hmm
proficiency? Why? Because again, we
because they over
know
rely on their
that,
quirks.
but we Aizawa erases quirks. You know there are quirks that can erase quirks.
hmm
Why would you not teach the heroes? Because God forbid one of the villains has an erasure quirk. Heaven forbid.
Technically, there was one in the movie Iron.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. That's right. So, like, why would you not? Why? Oh
Yep.
no, only if you get super strength is when you're going to learn how to fight. Fight? No,
hmm
no.
You
Heaven
see,
forbid the people that need to stay in the back, long range, whatever. Everybody in the front gets taken out. Now they're coming after them. What are they going to do? That ugh,
I mean, you've watched it like this. It's a very power
real
centric
problem.
fighting. Like
Yeah.
they fight based on their powers. Like there's no like technique or anything like that. Like someone like Denki, if he gets punched in the, he's done. Like some like even. I mean, all we saw like when it gets to those fisticuffs, they are in bad spots because all they do is just rely on their powers, and there's no. Not everyone is blessed to get a Gran Torino teaching
Mm-hmm.
them the basics. Not everyone is blessed to get a Night Eye, like teaching them
I'm also thinking freaking Uraraka's was it internship person?
with the whale.
Gunhead?
Yeah,
Was
gunhead.
it?
Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah. Like it's amazing that she got him, and I mean he's not even a really big
Mm-hmm.
person, but
No.
he, his basic self-defense, honestly, has saved her life multiple times.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, no, no, no. If he was a UA, it would have been crazy because I would have loved to see him like, well, maybe we already have because I feel like this is the foreshadowing of like
Mm-hmm.
he's fighting the before finalize these triggering things, the before finalized no moves.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is what it's looking like.
Yeah,
It's looking like these are all experience before we get to the first
like
perfected
Nomu.
no
Mm-hmm.
move. Yeah, so he's been fighting them and he's been winning. Like he hasn't lost really a fight. Like,
No, no, there was just, I mean, we had that curiosity about his fight with Stendhal, and
yeah.
then, he had that go over the line speech, which he
hmm
also essentially reiterates during his fight
hmm
with his daughter from a different, to me, it seemed like a different perspective. I would have to go like word for word in the speeches to really see if they're that different.
Right.
But I mean, just basically, at least in the fight with his daughter, talking about how, when she turned back and looked at him when she was walking out the door, that he saw like a look of hate, and he was stunned and he couldn't cross over that line. And so now in the fight, I've learned I need to cross over that line. I will cross over that line. I will no longer freeze. And that was really powerful. That was awesome.
Yeah, he's like it's very interesting because then like you see the thing, especially when people are like, "Oh man, it's just an old guy just beating the hell out of criminals and all that," or
An
because
old
people
hot guy. Because remember, Koichi's mom and
and
Makoto are like,
yeah, they
"Ooh,
saw his
look at
face
you."
and they're like, "Oh, do you used to be a hero and all this stuff?" And that's when they all yeah, all that. But it's like, and again, he's a very private person. Like he could have been like, "Oh, that's nice of you, blah blah blah," but I'm married,
Hmm.
and he just keeps that to which is fine. But I just this vigilante thing, like, it's opened my eyes on like the stuff of the past, like the Makoto episode, talk about the stuff like. I'm just seeing like, bro, if they think there's an organized thing happening in this town, you would think they would have like station heroes there. That's not happening. Ida's
Nope.
brother opening my eyes about like, oh, you didn't pass the exam. You could do X, Y, and Z and still be a hero anyway. And we're just like,
What? Like,
why didn't Midori like he passed the exam obviously when he got one for
but
all,
what
but it's
about
like,
Todoroki and Bakugo? Like,
yep.
what? Wait, what? Like, where are these back roads, or is it really like, okay, you go to UA to be in the hero course, you have to be a hero. We will not let you fail being a hero. Like,
Hmm.
oh, anyway.
So that's why I'm just like, okay, man, like what are we doing? But that those things opened a lot of different things and it's expanding on the lore and then it's just sitting here as present time because we know the present and we're just like, wow, there's so
We're still
many
here. This is where
there's
we are.
and I was like, man, we could have used and I don't think he's done growing yet, Crawler. I think his powers are
Yeah,
gonna he'll
he
keep
has
doing
to.
his thing and now I'm just thinking about Pop. I'm like, dang,
Where's she at? Like,
we'll
what's
never get
what's
a Pop in like Jiro collab.
that
Again,
would
I
be
think they're all
so
dead. I
cool.
truly think they're all dead.
I want to believe that at least Pop, because she's an idol, she blew up and she's touring across the world. That's what I'm going to choose to believe for
I don't
right
think
now.
she tore up Koishi's dead. I really don't. Especially if he dies before she could tell him that she was the
Yeah,
one who.
that he saved.
Mm-hmm. Because there's no way all this stuff would have been going on for 8 years unless they were just like, oh, My Heroes 1 through 8. We just didn't want to show that town because we knew that town was covered by those three. But then I was like, all right, that's BS. Because
That
then
is BS. Yeah, for
now you
sure.
made us like these characters, and you're going to tell us 8 seasons. When Giga Montreal was running through the thing, he magically didn't hit that town because he was afraid of some three vigilantes. Come on now,
No,
come on.
that
Or
was coming from the wrong direction, Martin.
or
Like,
if he does have if the thing is legit, like the social service stuff that he runs, he wasn't out here helping clean up. When
hmm.
the heroes were down to like 5 heroes out of 10 billion, he didn't suit up at night. You're telling me the OG Vigilante didn't run into Vigilante Midoriya? Come, see, now it's just all these questions. That's why, like, the only logical thing is they're dead. Because I doubt all three of them would move out of the country, but then see the news about their country getting ravaged and not show up.
Right.
And then, especially now that we learned that Makoto's the cop's sister
Right. And we haven't seen her. We haven't heard
in
him
eight
even mention
years.
her. Like,
Nope.
even low key being like, oh, my sister, or oh, like somebody, Sansa being like, oh, hey, by the way, your sister left a message for you. Like, nothing.
And sister was never used when they were trying to get information like where's all for one. You have a whole pat lie detector sister and she was never brought up. See, that's why I'm just like they're not there anymore.
Well, I guess we will find
Season
out.
two. season season two. That's where
Season two.
we'll because I just like there's the only logical explanations like because there's no way especially Makoto she's like really about this like
Yeah, journalistic integrity,
integrity.
digging.
She's the lowest
Like,
lane.
yeah,
Yeah,
she
she's the
is.
lowest lane. Mm. I do actually have a because it was recorded on his podcast and it'll be out before this is out. But Dragon Ball, Mitch, I did tell him about Sean Schemmel, aka Goku, being the
Hmm.
voice of Captain like Celebrity and basically explaining how Captain Celebrity is complete opposite of Goku, pompous asshole, things of that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, if All Might and Captain Celebrity in the English dubs ever have a conversation, he's like, man, I might have to talk to Andrea about that because I don't think this is. We did talk about it. We don't think this has ever happened in like an anime where like the two main characters of the biggest one ever
Mm-hmm.
talk in like
To each
another
other in a
way.
different capacity in a different anime. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then we talked about that's just how big My Hero Academia is that the voice of Goku, I guess he's a major supporting character in
Yeah.
Vigilantes, but he's not the main character. Then All Might is one of the main characters. Like Goku and Vegeta just having a casual conversation in My Hero, that's just how big My Hero is. And then he also, when I talked
Both
about your
definitely being blonde because of Super
yes, the
Saiyan.
Super
Like, come
Saiyan,
on.
like they
Yeah.
couldn't let that go. Which and then we also talked about if it ever did happen, because I brought up the thing from the Sailor Moon thing with Mitch, and he's like, I don't know why they haven't done it either. If Goku and Sailor Moon do a, he's like, yeah, I'd be money. Them doing a thing together, Goku and Sailor Moon doing a thing at a Comic-Con. He's
I would
like,
also just, this is different, but low key would love at a Comic Con, any con, having a Sailor Moon, Yusuke Urameshi
that'd be a
moment
good one too.
because
Yeah.
the authors of both anime or if they wanted to do Gon, but they weren't around as close to the same
Hmm.
time frame, so it's better to be Yusuke and Sailor Moon. Since they're the authors of both manga are married in real life, which is just
That would be a
super
good
peak.
one for like the real life thing. Obviously, Goku and Sailor Moon, the godfather and godmother of Western anime. That's just, I can't believe that just hasn't. That's just Omega money ready to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just like, if that ever happens, me and Andrew are gonna have to do an episode and discuss the panel and questions said and all of that. Is there any hero that you wish showed up on season one? I felt like all the heavy hitters did. They were seen.
mm,
All Might, Endeavor,
Best Genius
Midnight,
was
Best
there.
Genius.
Midnight. We
Like
haven't seen Night Eye.
well, we don't even see him until season four of. We didn't even know he existed until season.
I know, but this should be still during the time frame that he's All Might's sidekick.
Yeah, yes, because this is 5 years before the original. Technically, Lemillion, Ajiri, like that class isn't even in UA yet.
Nope.
So he hasn't met Lemillion to say Lemillion should be the successor of this one. He has the vision of all. Yeah, so yeah, I mean he should be.
He should be. It actually should be right, probably right around the time that they have that falling out.
Yeah, it should be. That's a good point. That's a
Um,
There was a person who said All Might was unavailable for something. Maybe that person works for Night Eye.
maybe, maybe,
So,
but also maybe could All Might have been unavailable because he was hurt? Because around the time that they have that falling out is because he's been hurt and right after the big fight with
yep.
All for One.
Hmm.
So is this right? Is this happening right before that fight, essentially? So he would be his sidekick.
Could
Or
be.
has the fight just happened? I don't know, because I feel like the fight couldn't have just happened when all of this is going on, because I mean, All for One is on the phone like, yo, B girl, stop wasting my.
Yeah, yeah. Because at the beginning of the thing, he already has the injury.
Mm-hmm.
So I would assume he already, because that's probably why we see him sporadically still. Like, you would think we would see more
Mm.
All Might sightings because he's more healthy, but it's like, it's planned and we don't even know if the dude knows who All Might is yet. Like, they've never, like, yeah, with the cop, because we have, and All Might hasn't started
Yeah?
at UA yet.
No, no, because he doesn't start a UA till Midoriya goes.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like Suka Uchi is. But no, 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 he is because remember when Makoto was talking to him, talking about that she wants to like interview All Might or whatever. Wasn't that a thing?
She said, I thought she said, could you get me an interview with All Might? Not like,
Yes, that's right. That's right. So to me, that implied that they were still close, that, you know, Suka Uchi was still working closely with All Might.
does it though? Like, I
I,
don't know. Because
technically, it's a
it's,
possibility that it doesn't because he would be working with the police in
yeah,
general.
just in general, like, hey, can you like give All my card because you have connects to the agency
Maybe.
type thing, or like, and she had, I don't know, man, she has a lie detector on it. She can just ask like, hey, do you know who All Might really is? Like,
Yeah, but
How come All Might's the only hero who's never ever called by his first name? No one knows his real name
yeah,
besides like four people.
right.
So that's just I I don't. One of the things, well, since it's like 5 years, in advance. It would have been crazy if we got a cameo from the traitor's parents. That's one I
Right.
would have.
Right. If we could have seen them like walking around the
Mhm.
corner down like to the dark alley and them sticking out because they stick out. Yeah, it would have been that would have been cool. I was also thinking when you led up with that is just like a random, I don't know, like school trip with like yeah, probably later elementary school age, like Bakugo and Midoriya.
I would have said, I'm trying to think of the timeline perspective. Basically, undercover government assassin Lady Naga,
Yes.
unless she's already on the run or in jail by now.
Uh,
I'm trying to think if Hawks
Is she?
is
Because I don't think
no,
that's. I would have
no.
liked to have seen Hawks, but Hawks isn't a hero yet because he's only been on the scene for 3 years by the time that Midoriya goes to high school.
Yeah, so it'll be in 2 years' time that he'll be because he shoots up because once Endeavor becomes number one, he becomes number two because he's about
Hmm.
like 23, 20 something like that.
Yeah, and he was like he,
So he's
as soon as he was there.
graduating
Yeah,
UA right
I don't think
now.
he technically went to UA because I feel like that's the thing about Hawks is he came out of nowhere. I don't think he went to a hero high school.
Oh, he went to that secret. He went to that evil government assassin training
Right,
that
right,
Naga got
right.
because he was being built to be the replacement.
Hmm. And there has to be others. That's the other thing about that whole thing. Just like the Black Widows,
Yes,
like.
exact. That is a perfect analogy. That is their red room.
Hmm.
Picking one out of, oh, your place burnt down, blah, blah, blah. Endeavor saved you. Now you're an orphan, but you have potential. Come work with
Come
us.
on. Yep, yep.
Oh, you have a shotgun on an arm and she can do all this stuff like, oh, you're pretty. So, people let their gun, you could shoot them from a distance. Oh, come work with us. Be basically our assassin for hire for the government.
Hired gun,
It's one of
literally.
those things. They're the ones working in the shadows. I don't know. I'm surprised they haven't approached the vigilantes because they're basically, they're working from the shadows too.
Exactly. But again, they might not have flat. Well, Knuckle Duster doesn't have a quirk. Koichi doesn't really have a flashy quirk. That's really, I
No.
mean, other than maybe just like recon, being able to like hang from a ceiling or scoot across the ceiling. But Pop, she literally demands attention by what she wants to do in her free time. So like, yeah, that's not gonna fly. um, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I see what you mean, but not quite this group. But again, this is not the only group of vigilantes to ever exist. We know this.
Shit, yeah, it's really not, but it makes it seem like it is to us.
Right. And so,
Like,
I mean, that's how it goes with they're the main characters. Like, so it seems
oh
like
well,
they're the only ones.
we knew there was heroes around the world though. This is just like you're telling me these are the only vigilantes in the own country? Like, and
Nah.
these heroes seem like they suck. Like the small town, it's like the small towns are getting it. It was a problem. It's been a problem. All these things like these heroes say blah blah this, blah blah that. But what about the little people they're not looking after? What about
Hmm.
the people? And it's funny too because
I
thinking
mean, it
about what.
reminds me of the second movie where they're on that remote island and they had one hero, and the students
Mm-hmm.
all go out there for the summer because bro's retired, so they literally have nobody.
Mm-hmm. And then it also reminds me of like when Koichi started off at the beginning, like cleaning. All Might it reminded me of when All Might was doing the little test from doors. Like, hey, hero work used to be community service, cleaning
Hmm.
before. And I was sitting there, I was like, now I'm thinking, wait, was this a nod to
Probably.
Koichi? Like, was that a callback? Like when he was just there cleaning and now everyone wants their little commercials, their ads. Shoot, the first time. And I'm like, see, this is the type of stuff that gets the villains all. I'm surprised those two girls were Stain didn't kill Midnight and Mount Lady. Because I
Right.
remember the first season where they were on basically their version of Jared Leto, not Jared Leto, Jay Leno, like basically arguing about like, oh, I'm like the mature, sexy type, and then Mount Lady's like, mature, sexy's out of here. It's all about the
Hmm.
young, sexy. But I'm like, there's no way Stain did not see this and come kill these girls. And I still need to know what did because Ida's brother is so cool. What did this man do to get
Right.
this?
And honestly, I wonder if it is because towards the end of this season, we see him shooting freaking commercials with Captain Celebrity. I
I was
wonder if
like,
it's just some petty stuff like that.
oh my
Like,
gosh.
is that what it was? Is that what, put the nail in Jennium's coffin was like, nah, fam, you sold out. Cause yeah, no, he's so wholesome and so
Hmm.
nice. Like
Can't believe that's Ida's brother.
I can because from his memories, like his brothers seem really nice. But it's one of those things where also it's like you can tend to have like rose-colored glasses when you admire your older brother and stuff like that. Um, Depending on who you are. So,
Well, once he didn't turn in, like Ida would have turned in Koichi and them, his
oh,
little
absolutely.
Omega rule
Omega
self. Like,
rule follower. I mean, he's basically a robot. It is,
yeah.
unless things don't make strict logical sense to him, nah, you're done.
So the fact his brother is just like, oh no, why don't you just, do this and be a hero psychic? And he's like, oh. I'm like, okay, I don't know. I don't know. That's like, man, something happened. But
I'm just wondering which parent each sibling is like, because definitely one of them has to be more like Ida
mm,
than Tensei,
mm,
or Ida and shoot, what's his older brother's name? It is Tensei, right?
hmm.
Yeah, okay.
No, I enjoyed it. I mean, I think I knew from the very beginning the first Easter egg of before we even knew Koichi running into Midoriya's
His
mom. I was like,
mom.
okay, this is going to be something I'm going to enjoy. And I'm sad that it's done, but season two will be 2026. But then we'll be also watching it basically at the fore end of how many coffins are they burying at the end of season eight?
True,
Like, how many
true.
teachers are we gonna see pop up here? Like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm gonna start my dream job at UA, and then we know they are not going to be
Around
around
anymore, yeah.
that anymore. Just seeing, I was like, oh, look at Endeavor. He has both his, and well, yeah, Endeavor has his eye not slashed up, a racer. Look, he still has his hand. Like, he's not all messed up, and
Yep, he's missing part of his leg. We have
hmm
Hawks all full of scars, and I mean his voice was out of commission for a bit. Best Genius, I mean, we thought he was dead a long time ago, and then he was fine, and now he's hanging on by a thread, haha.
hmm
Uh, and then other dude who I never really thought of as like thread, quote unquote. We don't know that he's gonna survive because he's currently trying to stitch Bakugo's blown up heart back together with his body.
yeah,
Freaking, he was the other one we saw briefly with Best Jeanist, and I'm forgetting his name right now. Feel really bad
Headshot.
about Edge Shot. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Is there any other hero I would have liked to have seen? I don't.
There's a
I don't
villain I
think
actually would have
so.
saw. I wish I would have seen from the shadows.
Who?
Now just thinking about it because it's still 5 years, but read Destro. How many people are right now?
Oh,
What's the plots going for
yes,
the
yes. That's a
parliamentary?
good
I've
one.
almost thought about rewatching some of those clips when Hawks gives Endeavor the thing like, "Hey, bro, there's an army like
Being,
how
yep.
and it's you don't get 10,000 in one day, so this has been
Oh, of course
building.
not. This has been ever. I think honestly, I mean Destro because he's re-Destro the second.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, there's been an army, a latent following that was transformed into an army after Destro was killed or died or however it was.
Yes,
I don't quite remember. The villain I would have liked to have seen in the shadows, honestly, and I thought you might have said this, um, would have been Overhaul.
I think they're not long for. I think season two they'll be. I mean that
Because I mean, especially since some of the people that were attacked by the B user were Yakuza.
I
So
actually
it
need
was
to
like,
look up. I need to look up now that you. She is.
I thought she was 6.
She's six in the first appearance. This
Hmm.
happens 5 years.
So she hasn't been born yet.
Yeah, she's about to be though. Like in the
Yeah.
next, because I was just trying to time. I was like, if they did a fast forward, like they could do a whole like, oh my God, this baby's been born who
Yeah, and the dad just disappeared. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
happened? Yeah. Mhm.
Because I'm like, oh, there's a go with the trigger. Anything else, Andrea?
Um, I don't think so. I just to hit on your point talking about how they have kind of the pinnacle fight and, everything hanging in the balance in the background of like an everyday like entertainment. People are out just trying to have fun. Kind of really calls to the forefront of everyday life in the sense of there's always something going on in someone's life that is can be literal life and death, can be seeming life and death,
Mm-hmm.
while the forefront or outside society don't really recognize that. And it was, I don't know, I haven't recently seen an anime do so well to have that kind of duality happening at the same time without making fun of the lightheartedness. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I think it was just crafted really, really beautifully to end to have those deep revelations, but also just having the fun, you know, uh J-pop little concerts and the community organizations following that first initial concert. Like I don't know, it was nice. It
I mean,
felt
it
it
doesn't
felt really
even
nice.
doesn't even end happy because the mom gets to find out that they brought the. She's dead. She dies.
Who?
The mom died. Like his
Yeah, the
wife
mom did
died.
die.
Yeah.
And that I will say that was the other thing that I found slightly refreshing in the sense of that he makes it to the hospital with their daughter, but his wife is crashing and in her last moments he's only able to tell her that he saved their
Mm-hmm.
daughter, but it
Yep.
wasn't the perfect happy ending that, she survives and she still gets to see her daughter, or her daughter's there to say goodbye to her just before she dies,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty realistic.
Yeah, because when she was asking where his mom, I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
I was just like, because she probably has no, because she looked at that one guy who was funny. She's like, man, you look scary. Like she
Yeah.
has no like that. She has no recollection of.
What's happened and what's been going on? Not really.
So just like it's not even that. He's like, well, now I'm
I'm gonna be
take,
here.
yeah, but he's gonna retire and take care of her, and we know how this goes. Something is going to pull him out of retirement because ain't no way Koichi and Pop are about to keep those streets safe. Well, I mean, they do have Captain Celebrity who's stronger. I mean, he's stronger than
Yes.
Knuckle Duster, but it's like he has a whole work schedule like a normal person. So
Mm-hmm.
he will not be around all the time too. The only person who
Well,
can get him there is Makoto. So
I do wonder if somebody else is gonna essentially step up into that role,
mm,
um, to fill Knuckle Duster's shoes. Koichi won't call him master because he's only referring to Knuckle as master,
mhm,
but it could be one of those like Gran Torino moments where it's like, yeah, Midoriya couldn't do his internship with All Might, but you're actually going to get something better and train with Gran Torino, who was an even better teacher than All Might or Midoriya in like breaking these down and things down and explaining them to him. So I wonder if, Koichi is going to stumble across somebody else who's going to join the group.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But that is it for the My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Now all 13 episodes. So you still can binge all of that before My Hero Academia season 8 starts in October. So you can binge all that, then go right into My Hero if you're going to do a little binge thing. Thank everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Just one quick thing because it did happen, and this will be the first anime-ish podcast to talk about it since it's come out. Andrea, initial thoughts on the Demon Slayer trailer before we go?
Absolutely amazing. I am so hyped. I am excited. There were so many moments in that trailer where I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. The top one being, of course, Zenitsu's fucking stare, eyes locked in, Ooh, we're all excited. We're all so freaking excited.
And that is only officially now, since we're July, 2 months away.
2 months.
Two
Two
months
months
away.
and 10 days.
Demon Slayer, September. My Hero,
7/19. Yep.
October. There you go. With that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Signing out. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.